Well, I want to share with you something that I've done throughout level 1, 2, and 3. What I've done is I've gone through every learning objective and I've looked at the keywords, and you can see I put some of the keywords down here: distinguish, define, describe, calculate. And what I did was I did this over the 3 levels, and I wanted to see where the words would concentrate. And there's a very clear pattern that emerges. Look at the major words for level 1. There are 688 keywords across some 500 and something learning objectives. 71% of all the words, of all the learning objective words, are these 5: distinguish, define, describe, calculate, explain. And whenever you see calculate, you're going to find interpret. So you could say calculate / interpret. Look at the concentration of these, and look at the big ones here: explain, describe, calculate. Those are huge. Describe, explain, calculate. I'm going to show you where those fall on a hierarchy of learning objectives in a second here, but have a look at this. Move over to level 2. Notice there's some overlap here with describe and calculate, but it falls off. 227 down to 159. Calculate is about the same, but look what happens over here. Explain takes on more prominence. Evaluate takes on more prominence as well. In fact, these 4 keywords at level 2, these 4 are almost 70% of all the keywords at level 2. And level 2 has 609 action words, and these 4 represent 70% of those 609. Then we go to level 3. Look what happens here at level 3. Explain sort of drops off from level 2, but look what really shows up here: contrast, discuss, demonstrate, recommend, justify. And in fact, when you get to calculate, look what happens at level 3. Only 11. Only 11 at level 3. The rest of them are higher order learning objectives: contrast, discuss, demonstrate, recommend, justify. There's only 381 action words in the learning objectives at level 3. They make up, these here, 1, 2, 3, 4, these 6 make up 61% of all of level 3. So it's an interesting way to look at level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 1 really has you doing these things: distinguishing, defining, describing, calculating, and explaining. Level 2 has you describing, calculating, explaining, but also evaluating. Now that becomes more important. And then when you move on to level 3, you have explain, but a whole bunch of new stuff: contrast, discuss, demonstrate, recommend, justify. Let's see how this looks on Bloom's taxonomy of learning. So here we are. I've shown you this before, the different levels of learning, with remembering being the most basic level of learning. That's really just memorization. Then you move up to understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating. Here's the where the keywords would map onto. If you map them, all the ones that we just saw on the other screen, to each of these particular levels, they would look like this. Well, here's all of level 1 right here: the remembering and understanding. Look at what level 2 does. A little bit of remembering, lots of understanding and applying. But when you get to level 3, it's really applying, analyzing, and evaluating. So the message here is the strategy that worked well for level 1, the study techniques that you used for level 1, a lot of remembering and understanding, aren't going to really work for level 2. You have to say, well, you know what, there's very little remembering at level 2. It's a lot of understanding and applying. And what worked well at level 2 is not necessarily going to work well at level 3. At level 3, you got to move from understanding and applying to applying, analyzing, and evaluating. So you have to change your focus of learning. You cannot pass level 3 with the same strategy that you used at level 1. That kind of stuff is gone. So I thought that might be a nice way to look at what your journey is going to look like.